Hi everybody, and welcome to the world of Micah, and welcome to Lakeland, Florida, where today we're going to be hunting down the filming locations from the new film on Disney Plus, the one and only Ivan. You can watch this film exclusively on Disney Plus. It stars Angelina Jolie, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Danny Devito, and a few other cast members that make this story wonderful. But today we're going to hunt down a few of the filming locations, and I figured you guys would want to tag along. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. It'll keep you updated with my latest video. If you would like to support my channel, down below in the description box is a link to my Patreon page. Let's go find the filming locations of the one and only Ivan. Now, let's take a closer look. So right up here would have been the house that belonged to Bryan Cranston's character. Few scenes were filmed in front of the house and in the yard. What's amazing is the fence and the house are still the same color from the film. Right here is the house. Gonna find a few scenes that were shot right here at this location. Obviously I cannot go in their yard, but that tree right there and the fence can be seen. And right over there is actually where the flower bed was in the scene where Ivan is riding his little tricycle bike for the first time. Bryan Cranston would have been standing right over there, and the tree can be seen right behind Bryan, as well as the fence here. It all happened right there in that front yard. I tell you what, this tree has so much character to it. When Ivan is riding the tricycle bike in the front yard, you can see this right above Bryan Cranston. He would have been standing right there, and Ivan would have been heading towards the plants, which were right there in the yard. It's pretty cool to see it in person. Right through the door right there is where Bryan Cranston came running out, trying to get his girl to stay at the house. She had had enough of Ivan. It's kind of difficult for her with everything he was doing in the house. But Bryan Cranston walked right out that door. The light has been removed next to him, but the porch and the house and the color are still the same. Now, from Bryan Cranston's point of view on the front porch, he was looking across the way. You can actually see this house across the way from the fence. The paint job has changed, but the windows and the roofing and everything, still the same house. In fact, to the right of the lady who's walking across the street, you can see this tree. That tree can be seen in the shot, and this tree can also be seen right in front of the fence. In the film, she would have been walking across the fence right here, walked out this way, and continued down the street right here. I don't know where she was going, but she was continuing down the street there. And they had a mobile home right about where that white fence is. You can see the RV where the fence is. And that tree next to the house is also in the shot, as well as this pole. All of this can be seen in the photograph I just showed you. So Bryan Cranston was on that front porch. Pretty amazing for our first location. The house that belonged to Mack, Bryan Cranston's character, and Ivan. We're gonna head over to our next location right now. So we have made it to the second location, which is actually in a storytelling segment of the movie. Ivan is telling the story basically of himself, and these are little flashback scenes from different points in his life, including some of the scenes we were just shown back at the house. This scene took place at the playground, shows an up-close shot of Ivan being pushed in the swing by Bryan Cranston, and the park was right over here, which is now just a sand pit. But for the film, they created an entire playground, including a swing, and the swing set was right over here. So right here was where this photograph was taken, and the swing set was also built. The ladies in the monkey bars would have been right over here. Right here was where the swing set was, and Bryan Cranston would have been standing right about here pushing Ivan. And right here was where this photograph was taken. Look to the right, you can kind of see the overhang from the basketball court in this shot. Ivan's face would have been right in front of our camera, and Bryan would have been pushing the swings. The trees sure have changed since they filmed this back in 2018. But this is where it took place. There's actually a shot that was filmed right here. The three ladies would have been standing right about here. You can see this light in the shot, as well as the houses in the background. And this tree can also be seen. The ladies would have been standing right here in this area. Pretty cool. This light looks the same, as well as the light against the street over here, and all these houses can be seen in the shots. Pretty amazing. Now if you ever come out here, there is a school right over here, so just keep that in mind. But this is a public park. Looking around in here in the sand, there is no remains of any of the playground equipment. But right over there was Ivan's swing set. And the funny thing is, there actually is a real park further down with a swing set and actual equipment. For some reason they didn't want to use that. I guess they wanted to make it a period piece and change the equipment to look like it did back in the day, because the equipment they have here is brand new. All right, we're going to be moving on to our next spot right now. Welcome to the Southgate Shopping Center. You might also recognize this from the filming locations and the major motion picture Edward Scissorhands. I was here not too long ago documenting the Edward Scissorhands filming location, but this was also Big Top Mall in the one and only Ivan. When the crew came in and filmed this, they put a lot of green screens up, changed a few of the signage, and made it look almost unrecognizable except for the big archway. I'm going to show you guys all the spots. This whole area was completely digitally redone for the film. They edited so much stuff. That thing looks good in film. It looked good in Edward Scissorhands, and it looked good in the one and only Ivan. So right here in this shot, you can see Big Top Mall on top of the signage. The Mustang was being pulled in by Bryan Cranston. Above his car, it said Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. It says Yoga Point now. And where the Bell's Outlet is, that was Boardwalk Bargains. And then to the right, at Babe's Shoe and Apparel, that was Bolorama. But Bryan Cranston's car would have pulled in right here, and he would have parked his car right here. This is the parking spot where Bryan Cranston parked. The tree was trimmed down for filming, but this is it. In fact, the angle was about like this. A few things have changed, but this is it right here. So the next time you come to Southgate, you can park your car where Bryan Cranston parked his Mustang. But like I said, during filming, all this was covered up in a green screen. They didn't have any of this in it. This was actually where you would walk inside to get to the Big Top Mall. So when you're watching the film, basically from right here on was completely covered up. They green screened it, they did all kinds of stuff. Along the wall here was movie posters, and basically right where we're standing, we would have been walking inside the Big Top Mall. This is where all the magic would have been happening, all the stores would have been in here, and the big fountain would have been right over there. Now looking at this photograph, I believe they did shoot this scene looking back in the parking lot from Bryan Cranston's walking in, wiping his face. But obviously all this stuff was digitally removed from the shot, because right here is where it would have been. If you look in the photograph to the right in the window, you can see where that planter is and that tree, and also where he parked his car. The other planter would have been right here, but this was removed. It's a very confusing shot. I think it was honestly all digitally done. A lot of this stuff in this area was digitally done. Now, we're gonna head across where Ivan and all of his friends were attempting to cross the road. Probably one of the most famous scenes of the movie, and I believe this is the shot they use on Disney Plus as kind of like the movie poster. It's such a weird shot because right here is basically where it happened. If you look at this pole, pay attention to the 4 yellow things that come up around it, because you can see it in the photograph here, but nothing else next to it exists. They basically like superimposed a bunch of stuff, but this is where this shot was filmed. You can see Ivan and the gang standing, and they were trying to cross the street. Now, in actuality, the street's way up there, Florida Avenue, but they had it to where it seemed like down here was the street. Some movie magic they had going on there. And then right here is where they completely made a makeshift bush, and all the guys were hanging on the other side of the bush, walking their way through. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, when you come here and look at this, because I mean, I can see a few things that line up, but then again, a lot of it is completely different than what's in the film, because like I said, a lot of it was digitally enhanced, a lot of it was digitally edited. The Office Max building, the roof here was taken off. As you guys can see, it was just a flat surface here, and I actually believe in the film there's like mountains in the background. There's really a city skyline, and also in the shot over here is supposed to be like a huge like highway, interstate, with a big sign promoting Ivan. In the distance you can see the city. None of that's here. So the best I can gather is this is the area that they based this shot off of. It's funny how in the movie there's a sign that says enter with an arrow. In real life it says one way, do not enter. Kind of funny. But I can definitely see where they got their inspiration of having them come through the bush, hide through the bushes, you know, and then try get on the sidewalk and try and cross the busy street here, because it definitely is a very, very busy street. But where I'm standing right here is basically where Ivan and his friends were standing. They were going to cross that street. They were going to escape and get into the real world. There's a very funny scene here with the chicken talking about crossing the road. Right over here is where they had the protesters standing, all holding the signs saying free Ruby and no show today, let Ivan free, a cage is not a home, free Ivan, all kinds of stuff. They were standing here. You can see the corner of this, and right there the poles that are wrapped in brick can be seen, but all that right there was green screened to look like the inside of Big Top Mall. All right, Southgate Shopping Center, aka Big Top Mall. Time to move on to our last location. I wish I had a blue Mustang like Bryan Cranston had in the film to drive around to all these locations. That'd be pretty cool. All right, moving on to the last location. I can't believe it. We've already made it to the last location. I love Southgate Shopping Center. It's amazing. 2 movies, 1 location. All right, last location now. And might I add, this is the furthest location of them all. The rest of the locations are pretty much within the same block or so of each other. And our last location is right here at the Silver Moon Drive-In. This is the drive-in theater that the couple came to see Robin Hood at. This is the shot right here. It said Silver Moon right above here. On the right over here is where the Robin Hood sign would have been, and they would have been driving right through there. The colors and everything are still the same. And what's absolutely incredible about this is, in the shot right over here, it had a little slogan that said movies are your best entertainment. Well, right over here, look what it says right above Silver Moon Movies are your best entertainment. The same sign. That's the sign that was used in the film. I'm guessing they moved that right over there for the filming. Can't get over this old school ticket booth right here. Could you imagine Bryan Cranston driving right through here in a blue Mustang to go see Robin Hood? Enjoy the film. So they would have been pulling in right through here. The Robin Hood sign would have been somewhere around here, and straight ahead is the ticket booth where they purchased their tickets. Not really sure what to expect up here, but I'm hoping I can see the screen. Yes, there's the screen. It's still here. Look at that. That's the screen, just like in the film. I can't believe it. So they would have been sitting right over there in that parking lot, waiting to watch Robin Hood. The screen still looks the same. Look at the bottom. Looks the exact same as it did in the film. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. This was our final location of the filming locations for the one and only Ivan. As the sun sets here at the Silver Moon Drive-In, our adventure has come to an end. This was a lot of fun. But I think it's time to say goodbye. But if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a big thumbs up. Down here somewhere is the thumbs up button. All my links are down below. If you guys have not seen the one and only Ivan, it's on Disney Plus. I highly recommend it. Great film, great story, some good comedy, and some tug on the heartstrings moments. Down below in the description box is a link to the trailer. You guys can watch the trailer. But I will see you guys tomorrow on a brand new episode of World of Micah. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.